Ito, sasanayin ko talaga kayong magbasa ng mahabang questions. Okay? Lalo na sa Prof. Edu, tsaka yung sa mga SNED majors dyan, ang hahaba ng mga tanong. Talagang hindi dapat kayo mainip. Anyway, number 4 na tayo. Teacher Maria notices that a learner with autism spectrum disorder in her general education class becomes highly distressed during loud, unstructured transitions, guided by the philosophical principle of progressivism and John Dewey's learning by doing. How should she ethically manage the environment? Yan na. So is it A, request the principal to permanently transfer the child to a self-contained SNED classroom to preserve the learning pace of the majority? Sige, Tagalogin na natin agad ha. Letter A daw, mag-request ka na daw kay principal na ilipat na daw yung bata sa self-contained. Ibig sabihin, pag sa self-contained, either siya lang mag-isa or yung mga kasama niya is meron ding diagnosed with disabilities din, okay? Letter B naman, document the behavior and advise the parents to shift to homeschooling. Ayun na. So, pagka-document daw ng behavior, i-advise mo na daw yung mga magulang na ipag-homeschool na lang siya. Until ma-resolve daw yung sensory issues ng bata. Letter C naman, establish a highly structured, visually predictable transition routine that accommodates the learner's sensory needs. And letter D, standardize all classroom routines and expect the learner to gradually conform through peer imitation and natural consequences. Okay? Haba ng tanong, no? Sige, tingnan natin yung mga sagot ninyo. Ayan, umuulan ng letter C. Letter C daw. C for correct. Okay, so kung babalikan natin muna yung item. Ano daw yung diagnosis ng learner? Ang diagnosis po niya ay, meron po siyang autism spectrum disorder. Okay, kapag po kasi may ASD ang bata, usually, hindi naman lahat, no? Pero usually, meron po silang sensory issues. Ayan. So, anong sabi dito? Sa Gen Ed class daw niya, anong nangyayari dun sa bata? Nagiging distress siya. Bakit? Dahil, ayan, meron siyang loud, unstructured transitions. Ang mga bata po na diagnosed with ASD, they thrive talaga kapag merong smooth transitions, okay? At merong structure. Meaning, merong tinatawag na routine. Kumbaga, alam nila kung ano yung ine-expect sa kanila na gagawin nila for the day. Like for example, pumasok ang bata, alam niya na una niyang gagawin, ilalagay niya muna yung bag niya, sa bag area, for example. Tapos, uupo siya or magte-take ng attendance si teacher and then after, magpe-pray sila. Then afterwards, pwedeng mag-sing and dance sila. Okay? So, yun po, no? Yung mga students with ASD, they mostly rely on structure. So, mas pabor po talaga sa kanila, mas gusto po nila kapag predictable yung mga gagawin. So, kapag may naiba dyan sa schedule nila, usually, ayan na. Pwede silang matrigger kapag ganon. Okay? So, ganon po yung characteristics usually ng mga merong ASD. That's why, kung babalikan natin yung mga options natin, ano po ang tama? Okay, pakita ko na ha. Okay, actually, tumpak po kayo. It's letter C. Okay, ayun po. Tama po, no? Pag may autism ang bata, dapat may predictable routine po sila. Yes. Ang tamang sagot po is to what? Establish a highly structured, visually predictable transition routine that accommodates the learner's sensory needs while maintaining group activity. Ayun po ang tama pong sagot. Okay? Kasi kung titingnan natin yung letter A, like for example, ipapalipat mo na ba yung bata nang dahil lang doon? Mali po yun. Segregation approach na po ang ginagawa ninyo. So, X na po yan, mali po yan. Si letter B naman po, parang ganun din. Homeschooling. Talagang ina-advise mo ng bata na magpa-homeschool or ina-advise mo ng parents na magpa-homeschool. So that is, kumbaga, extreme removal na yon from the school. Hindi po yun ang tamang approach kapag po we're dealing with students with ASD, no? For letter D naman, mali din po ito. Bakit? Kapag in-standardize natin lahat ng classroom routines, ibig sabihin, binabaliwala natin yung mga sensory needs, no, ng mga bata if meron man tayo sa klase natin na diagnosed with ASD.